It's a gravitational pull over Bermuda like no other. So we was talking about in another program about when the British occupation and the British mandate went over Egypt, that they did great atrocities to the Egyptian memorials and landmarks and taking all of the things out of Egypt into the European continent, went north and west. And now the Illuminati or the Scottish Rites, the people of Great Britain and all of the European Union has all of the treasures out of the great house of the Pharaoh, the royal crown royal of Egypt, which ceased to exist because of the Roman Empire. And then they threw the truth to the ground and it's Hellenism, okay, all over the world. Now the truth is not known anymore, but I'm speaking from my soul. This is the Niggaspedia Negranica. Now, at Bermuda, at the Bermuda Triangle, that's a gravitational pull on Earth. Stronger than anything else on the Earth. And this is why I was thinking, since the last program I was talking about the lost treasures of the sunken ship Beatrice, and we was talking about the Titanic, which I said held great treasures on it, and we was sunk near Bermuda. Off the coast of Florida is where a lot of Spanish ships took all of the gold of the Aztecs and they lost it at sea. So it's some type of gravitational pull down there at Bermuda, off the coast of Florida, going into the Azores, into the Prime Meridian in Africa, in between Spain, the Pillars of Hercules, and the Strait of Gibraltar. And this is where the sunken sarcophagus of Menkaure, who was the third pyramid builder, his sarcophagus is sunken at sea off the coast of Cartagena, Spain. So I'm thinking that sarcophagus, when we studied the Great Pyramids, those sarcophagus generated electricity. They had something to do with the transmigration of man ascending to heaven. It had, and the sarcophagus was said to be 2 tons. A ton is 2,000 pounds for 1 ton. So a 4,000 pound sarcophagus lid is sunken off the coast of Cartagena, Spain, which is it's going into the Atlantic Ocean, okay? And going near there to the Bermuda Triangle and off the coast of Florida and Cuba and Jamaica and all of the Caribbean Sea, which they say is Bimini Road, which was the road from West Africa into the Royal Caribbean, which would be Cuba, Guatemala, which is the Atlanteans, the land of the Atlanteans, South America, El Dorado in Colombia and shit, the mountains of the Andes, which was historically the land of the Inca. The Inca, the Maya, and the Olmecs. The Olmecs, the Toltecs, the Aztecs, who are the Apache Indians in the north, and the pre-Columbian era of America, okay? But something about Bermuda, I think that curse of the Pharaoh is over the Bermuda Triangle. That sarcophagus lid weighed 4,000 pounds. We studied those pyramids. Those sarcophagus lids generated electricity. They were solar powered. The Pharaoh's mummy was made, his coffin lid was made out of metals that were metallic and were full of magnetism and power in them, like onyx, like gold is an alloy to electricity, and copper. All in the Great Pyramids is copper, gold, onyx stone, which is a metallic stone for metal, that's for magnets and shit. Onyx is magnets. They said that stone has the power of God in it because it's magnetism. A magnet with a positive and a negative side on it. That's onyx. That's what the sarcophagus was made out of. So it generated some type of magnetism or power over it. The Ark of the Covenant, the biblical Ark of the Covenant that Moses gave the lawgiver put the stone tablets that he said was written by the hand of God onto stone. He was given the law recited to him from the word of God, and he wrote it on stone. And he broke those tablets and he remade them again. The broken tablets are said to be in the Ark of the Covenant. That Ark of the Covenant was made inside of the Great Pyramids. Maybe in the second pyramid or the third pyramid. The first pyramid had water. The second pyramid and the third pyramid had different functions. So the Holy of the Holies was the third pyramid. So maybe the original house of the Ark of the Covenant was the third pyramid at Chissa. So in Kemet, that's where they made the Ark of the Covenant, all of the gold of Egypt. During the time of Moses. Biblical Moses is Moses. He went to conquer where? Syria and Palestine. That's the land of Israel. Had to conquer the Canaanites, the land of Canaan. It's Palestine, okay? The land of the Philistines, the land of the Phoenicians. Those are Canaanites. So that's Moses' campaign was over Syria. Assyria, okay, see. In Palestine, okay. That's the coming across the Jordan River, across the Jordan, Ammon, Jordan. It's like Ammon-Ra, the Ammonians, or a joint colony of Ethiopians and Egyptians. They preceded King David, who we say is King Pasusanes of the 21st dynasty. Moses, the biblical Moses, would have been in, I say, the 13th dynasty. In between the 13th and the 18th dynasty is what the Greeks call the Trojan Wars. And just like it says in the Cadmean myth, the five warriors that sprung from the dragon that he killed, from the dragon teeth that he planted at the Spartans, at Sparta. That's the 13th to the 18th dynasty. 5 different dynasties at the same time were in different locales conquering the land of Canaan. And it was uninhabited at the time, or it was habited, but it was supposed to be conquered and recolonialized for the children of Israel coming out of the land of Egypt with the law God from the land of Egypt telling them to do this and spread over the whole circumference of the land, going east or going westward. And that's where we are, dispersed all over the world, okay? And we were supposed to spread the divine commandment that was given to Adam to be fruitful and to multiply and increase in number and make it like the Garden of Eden again. Just like the commandment that was given to Adam was to till the soil, till this earth, and plant the ground and you know, you got to work and then you eat. And from the sweat of your face, you will eat your food, okay? And that's what the Canaanites never really did. And that's why God was removing them out the land, because they were people of sin. People that was not going to do what God says. God told them to do that, was to till the soil. They never did it. They gave themselves up to drugs and strong drink and to sin. Sexual immorality. A man commits adultery with too many women, or a woman commits adultery with too many men. She plays the whore. She commits adultery on her husband. They ain't tilling the soil. She ain't tilling the soil and doing the labors with her husband in the household. She is going out to play the whore. And like I said before, this is the same thing that happened to the Jews. And it's worse for a Jew who knew God than for a Gentile who knew not God when they do something wrong and break one of the 10 commandments. Because, I mean, God told them they know the law of God, and then they choose not to do it. It's worse for a Jew. And one of those faithful Jews who do what God says, it's best for first the Jews and then the Greeks. And it's good for a Greek who didn't know God but to naturally do what's right, God will give him the blessing of a righteous man who is like a Jew who knew God and kept the law. Okay, it's better for him who know God to do what's right. And it's worse for him to know God and do what's wrong than it is for one who does not know God and do what's wrong. God won't punish him as bad as he'll punish one who do know God and still chooses to do the wrong thing. And God will bless a man who didn't know the right way and chooses naturally to do what's right. God will give that man a blessing above the ones who do know what's right and do what's right. Because that one didn't even know to do what's right when naturally does what's right. Well, I have a lot to say on this program right here, but I'm just speaking from my soul. In the Niggerspedia and the Granica, we're going to be uncovering the deep, dark mysteries of the pre-Columbian era of America, which is called Atlantis. The Atlanteans of Aminti. Aminti is in Mexico. The 10 blessed islands of Mexico, which I would think is in Guatemala, in the Olmec Centers, in the Tikal region, in Bonampak, in all of those famous little pyramid cities, in classic Maya, pre-classic, or whatever, you know. That's what I am focusing on in here. Let's see, in Guatemala, Palenque, Mexico City, Teotihuacan, Tenochtitlan, Cholula, all of those pyramid cities. That belongs to the ancient Egyptian people who reformed themselves, who saved themselves from being mass annihilated by Babylonian captivity when the Jews went a whoring after all of the other gods, and when the males left their holy temple to go for the whore of Babylon and got caught in captivity. That's the oldest trick of the trade. They still do this to this day on cops. And they send the prostitutes out on the streets to catch a guy who is looking for a prostitute. And then when he pays for sex and go in the room with her, they take him captive. They bust out the room and freeze you under arrest and shit. Get on the ground. You're soliciting a prostitute and shit. That's Babylonian captivity. So, but I'm not supposed to get caught up in that kind of jazz and that kind of mess. I'm a man that's studying and preserving my roots and my culture. I've been reading the Emerald Tablets of Toph the Atlantean. We're studying the Book of Enoch. We're studying all the apocryphal literature, all of the sacred texts. And it's putting this man on the right path in life and enlightenment. You're learning things from your ancestry over here. I'm not doing anything wrong. I am the pre-Columbian era of America. I am one of the last of a dying breed that's holding on to our roots and our culture, our tradition. And they say Zion is in the wilderness. In the wilderness, Kemet. It's in Ethiopia and Egypt. And Aminti is in the jungles of Mexico. Zion is also in Southeast Asia and China, in South China. It's a place called Zion, the Temple of Heaven, where we learn Buddhism. So I'm with the enlightened ones at Borobudur. I'm going to study that place. I'm at Teotihuacan in the pre-Columbian era of America, which is in Amduat called the Aminti. Teotihuacan, Pyramid of the Moon, Pyramid of the Sun. We are children of the light, star children, the sun. Son of the sun, okay? Son of the sun god, Amon Ra. Can you dig it?